Welcome to Hero Villains. Today's battle, what do you think is the difference between Carnage and Venom? Who is stronger? Carnage vs. Venom, the battle between parasitic monsters. Venom. Eddie Brock is one of Marvel's most iconic anti-heroes, possessing the power of an alien symbiote. The Venom symbiote physically enhances its host, giving Eddie superhuman strength, speed, durability, and reflexes. Venom can create weapons from his own body, heal quickly, resist many forms of attack, and even disable Spider-Man's spider sense. Despite his brutality, Venom still has a moral code, making him a force to be reckoned with, not to be underestimated. Carnage. Cletus Kasady is a symbiote many times more dangerous than Venom. When the Venom symbiote spawned a clone and bonded with serial killer Cletus Kasady, it created Carnage, a chaotic, uncontrollable monster. Carnage was stronger than Venom, faster, and had the ability to transform into a variety of deadly weapons. Unlike Venom, Carnage had no moral limits, making him a living nightmare. Before we dive into the analysis, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. These two symbiotes have distinct differences in power and personality. One of the most important characteristics of the symbiote is the ability to receive and inherit the power of the previous host. Thanks to his previous bonding with Peter Parker, Venom not only possesses superhuman strength and speed, but also has the ability to create organic webs and develop a unique form of spider scent. This results in Venom being able to maintain and increase his strength limit up to 10 tons, the same as Spider-Man, in addition to his own inherent abilities. In fact, the symbiote's strength level can increase significantly depending on the number of hosts it has bonded with, making it increasingly dangerous and difficult to control. As a result, the descendants of symbiotes such as Venom tend to develop powers that surpass their predecessors. Therefore, Carnage was born with powers that surpass Venom. Although he inherited many of the same abilities, Carnage does not have the spider sense that Peter Parker inherited. However, this creature has developed a remarkable ability to transform its body, especially the ability to transform its limbs into sharp weapons such as blades, axes, and daggers. Although Venom also possesses this ability, he rarely uses it. Thanks to the mutation in its symbiotic structure, Carnage can adjust its shape flexibly and quickly, giving it an advantage in combat, while also significantly increasing its lethality and danger. Carnage possesses superior biomass control, allowing him to manipulate his body in extraordinary ways. One of the most impressive demonstrations of this power is when he extends his tendrils across New York City to track down a specific individual, a task he performs with incredible precision and ease. Another notable trait of Carnage is his incredible regenerative ability. Of all the symbiotes in the Marvel Universe, Carnage's healing factor is considered the most powerful and destructive. He can instantly recover from severe injuries, including a jaw-broken neck. In fact, in one instance, after being decapitated, Carnage not only regenerated completely, but was also able to control his detached head independently. Since the Darkhold, Carnage has overcome one of the traditional weaknesses of his symbiotes. He is no longer vulnerable to high-pitched sounds or fire. This change makes him one of the most dangerous symbiotes to have ever existed, with virtually unlimited power. Venom possesses a range of incredible abilities, most notably enhanced spider sense, the ability to generate organic webs, and invisibility. Venom's spider sense is significantly superior to Peter Parker's, allowing him to detect and react to threats faster than his opponent. One of the factors that makes Venom a master of surprise attacks is his invisibility. Thanks to his flexible biomorphing properties, Venom can change his surface structure to blend in with his surroundings, making him invisible to the naked eye. This not only gives him a huge tactical advantage in combat, but also allows him to approach his target undetected, leaving his opponents with little chance of fighting back. Both Venom and Carnage possess the ability to change their body size at will. However, Venom tends to increase his biomass more, especially when bonded with Mac Gargan. He often expands to over 10 feet in size, making himself more massive and intimidating in battle. In addition, a notable step forward in Venom's evolution is his ability to survive independently without a host. Thanks to reconnecting with the symbiote swarm mind, Venom can now form and maintain a stable physical structure without having to rely on a human body as before, making Venom more flexible in combat as well as in survival and development. Carnage and Cletus Kasady maintain a perfect union, almost reaching the level of absolute symbiote. From birth, Carnage has been imbued with an instinct for violence and an extreme desire for destruction, which makes him an ideal companion for the serial killer Cletus Kasady. The bond between the two entities is so deep that Carnage is not only absolutely loyal to his host, but also completely completely identical to Cletus in thought and action. Unlike other symbiotes, Carnage does not see himself and his host as two separate entities. Instead of using the pronoun we like Venom, he always refers to himself as I, reflecting the absolute level of harmony between the two entities. While many symbiotes have the habit of consuming human brains to absorb phenethylamine, a compound necessary for their survival, Carnage has no such need. In fact, he rarely displays predatory behavior, with the exception of one particular instance when he chewed through Wolverine's bone claws, an act that was brutal but not necessarily intended to consume his prey. Venom has never achieved a perfect bond with any host. In all bonds, the symbiote maintains a certain degree of autonomy, often clashing with its host rather than fully integrating. Compared to Carnage, Venom is more inclined to consume humans, seemingly driven by a strong biological need to absorb phenethylamine from the human brain. Before reconnecting with the symbiote's swarm mind, Venom acted as a feral entity, frequently causing destruction, killing, and indulging in uncontrollable hunger. However, after establishing a bond with the swarm, Venom gradually developed a clearer sense of responsibility. He began to care about maintaining his heroic ideals and expressed deep remorse for his past misdeeds since arriving on Earth. The thought of a possible return to his former violent nature terrified Venom. Determining which symbiote was stronger was a clear issue a decade ago, but in the present, one of the most important characteristics of symbiotes is their ability to copy and inherit the powers of the host they bonded with. Therefore, the most powerful symbiote is usually the one that has come into contact with and assimilated the most hosts. One of Carnage's most important hosts is the Silver Surfer, but it is unclear exactly what abilities Carnage inherited from this cosmic entity. It is likely that he absorbed some of the Silver Surfer's physical strength, but there is no clear evidence of inheriting his cosmic energy. Meanwhile, Venom has bonded with more powerful superheroes and characters, including Miss Marvel, Mac Gargan, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Drax, and even an alien tyrant. Carnage, on the other hand, has fused with Ben Reilly, the Silver Surfer, and the Wizard, a less diverse host list than Venom. Based on the number and strength of his hosts, it is very likely that Venom is currently at least as strong, if not physically superior to Carnage, thanks to the variety and richness of the power sources he has received through his many symbiosis. Subscribe to the channel, it helps us a lot, and moreover, you will see great videos every day. You are the best. Thank you very much. Oh, and let's assume we're talking about their original natures, since both Carnage and Venom were recently amplified in Absolute Carnage. Symbiotes naturally enhance strength, so Spidey with his enhanced strength would be stronger than Venom if he had a symbiote. Even though Spider-Man is probably more used to using symbiotes as a suit than a living being, both Venom and Spider-Man have to work together to take down Carnage, and if we take away Venom's advantage in numbers and experience with symbiotes, we have an inexperienced symbiote user versus a more experienced, more dangerous, and actually worse symbiote/human hybrid, both in his symbiote suit and in his human form, Eddie Brock. If Eddie Brock were to capture Cletus Kasady in his human form, it wouldn't be much of a fight because Eddie Brock is also a physical monster in his human form. Kasady is a small man with little to no fighting ability before he gets the symbiote suit, which is itself a product of Venom's own symbiote. Spider-Man has the obvious disadvantage that he can never predict what Venom might do next, due to the alien costume he himself once wore. The fact that Carnage's suit is a creation of Venom allows Venom to predict what Carnage might do next. This is very similar to Spider-Man's spider sense. When comparing the two in their base human forms, there really isn't much of a rivalry. Surprisingly, they initially seek to create peace across the universe, using their bonding process as a means to achieve that. If the host has a strong, benevolent moral code, the bonding will create a heroic warrior wearing the symbiote's suit. If the host is evil and vicious, those traits of the host can corrupt the symbiote itself. As others have said, Carnage can create blunt and bladed weapons from his suit, but they almost instantly disintegrate upon leaving his body, and disintegrate even more quickly when he loses focus. Venom can actually also create weapon-like spikes from his symbiote suit that function in the same way as Carnage's weapons, only they are not as complex. Unlike the Carnage symbiote, the Venom symbiote can exist independently of its host. It can function on its own without human intervention. When alone, it resembles a shapeless black goo of a symbiote, but still retains Venom's signature mask, or face, sharp teeth and all. Both Venom and Carnage are very weak to high and low frequency sounds, which is a huge disadvantage for both. Honestly, Spider-Man usually beats both of them, so for my answer I would say Venom would beat Carnage, but Spidey always beats both of them, not to mention Venom has a much better grasp of what the symbiote suit can achieve. Kasady's use of the suit is limited and he lacks the imagination to use the symbiote's full capabilities. Brock and Kasady are both controlled by the suit to some extent, while Spider-Man controls the suit rather than the other way around. Eddie Brock's mental state is usually much better than Kasady's. Carnage is a psychopath who can't plan long term. He just wants instant gratification / revenge, and is a poor strategist. Brock was able to plan for years how to hurt Peter Parker when he was at his lowest and most vulnerable, the mark of any great enemy. Brock has also shown a much higher level of mental control over both his own abilities as well as the symbiote suit. Brock always refers to himself as we while wearing the suit, which shows that he has resisted its influence. Carnage, on the other hand, always refers to himself and the symbiote as me, which shows that it has more fully integrated with his own consciousness and has corrupted his psyche to a much greater extent. Danger does not equal power. Carnage is more dangerous. Venom, when used to its fullest by Eddie Brock, is more powerful. When you consider how well Flash Thompson can control the symbiotic suit, whether used by Eddie Brock, Mac Gargan, Lee Price, and Waying, Deadpool, or Flash Thompson, Venom is still a much more formidable force. This is a somewhat unfair advantage because the Venom symbiote has traditionally bonded with much more capable hosts. The Carnage symbiote seems to actually seek out psychologically damaged, bordering on insane, hosts. Venom has lived much longer in the suit. He has actually found redemption and become more of an anti-hero than just a regular villain. He has recently evolved into Anti-Venom, which adds another layer of complexity. Other characters who wear symbiotes like Toxin, Hybrid, and Scream were quickly left behind and defeated in an instant, either by Spider-Man himself or by Eddie Brock while he was still a villain. No one has ever mastered the control of symbiotes as well as Eddie Brock. Carnage has taken Spider-Man's hardest punches and has often beaten Venom like he was nothing. Carnage is far superior in power. I hope you enjoy this fight. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That's it for today's video. Thanks a lot.